It's about ending the needless suffering. It's like people are suffering, their health, their energy, their outlook on life, their existence on this planet because of the crap food that everyone's eating. And then people reach to, pharmacology and what are we doing to ourselves? Like history has shown us that whole foods, whole plants, that's what's going to build health.
Welcome to the Powerplantbody podcast. This is a project that centers around interviews with people who are affecting change in their local and global communities through conscious movement and exercise, mental, emotional, and spiritual work, and plant-based nutrition and lifestyle practices. Today, I'm speaking with Danielle Arsenault. She's the founder of Pachavega Living Foods Education, but her enthusiasm and zest for life extends to many other things as well. She's a passionate raw food chef, a Spanish teacher, an avid outdoor enthusiast, a rock climber, a cookbook author with many titles to her name. She's a humanitarian, a devout environmentalist, a pure-hearted vegan and plant-based nutrition expert, and she's a holistic lifestyle coach. In speaking with Danielle, it's clear that she's one of those vegans who anecdotally has that glow about her. There's an apparent energy and passion behind every word that she says. You can tell that she's doing what she feels called to do in life, and the reasons for which are all plainly pure of heart and altruistic. Danielle has a treasure trove of knowledge around healthy, mindful, compassionate eating and living, and she's made it her life's mission to share what she knows with the world. She empowers people by giving them the tools to make life-affirming decisions around food that will help them live their best life. In our interview, she shares some of that knowledge as we dive into topics like the difference between raw and living foods, when and why food combining matters and how it can assist the digestive system, the role of supplementing and when you might want to consider supplements, and she shares the 3 foods that she recommends everyone eat on a daily basis. I really enjoyed my conversation with Danielle, and I have no doubt that you'll get a lot out of what she shares. So without any further delay, I bring you Danielle Arsenault.
I've got a list here that is, it runs about a page long of all of these amazing talents you have. First and foremost, you're the owner of Patchavega. You're an avid rock climber, a cave guide, and musician. You've received your Living Foods Lifestyle Education certification from the Ann Wigmore Institute in Puerto Rico. A raw food educator. You got a certificate from the Raw Food Foundation Culinary Arts Institute in Vancouver. That's where I'm from.
Yay.
Yeah. A
Great
certificate
place.
in permaculture design from the Sadhana Forest in Haiti. You are a professor at the Pacific Rim College in Victoria, BC, where you created and taught several plant-based nutrition courses. I also lived in Victoria, beautiful city. You're also a contributor to several popular health blogs, including youngandraw.com, healingthebody.ca, Elephant Journal, Zoo Nutrition and Earth Therapy, as well as a regular contributor to the popular Canadian fitness and running magazine, Impact Magazine. You host and co-host yoga. It just goes on and on. You host and co-host yoga and living food retreats. You're a keynote speaker. And to top it all off, you have your very own TEDx talk called Power of Plants, where you talk about the incredible benefits eating living foods can have on a person's health. So I want to thank you for joining me today because it sounds like you're incredibly busy, and I'm really looking forward to getting into this. And it's clear from that list that you have many passions and that you found a way to express them through your company, Patchavega. What does Patchavega mean?
Yeah, Pachavega. So when I decided to create this business, I was sort of in a transition in my life. I was coming back from teaching abroad. I taught in Mexico for 3 years and then went to South Korea and was there for 4 years.
Wow.
And while there, I was rock climbing a ton and then teaching as a university professor at Anyang University. And then I was there and I was having such a great time and I started experimenting with food and I just really fell in love with the idea of, mixing all these different unique flavors to create incredible dishes. So that was sort of like the start of it all before I started my business. And then I went to Haiti, got the permaculture design certificate, and then I went to Puerto Rico to study at the Ann Wigmore Institute. And while I was at the Ann Wigmore Institute, it just came to me, Pachamama. Pachamama means Mother Earth in Quechua, which is
cool.
South American indigenous language. It's actually one of the largest indigenous languages in all of South America. It was clear to me that I really loved that word Pachamama, but I wanted to somehow include the idea of what I was doing in the business. So I thought about vegetable, plant-based, vegan, vegetarian, and I decided to combine those two words. So Pachavega comes out of that. And then Living Foods Education, because I've always been a teacher. It's a great passion of mine to pass on knowledge. I love people. I love kids. I love teaching adults. I get super excited when I'm teaching, and I found the thing that makes me thrive. And so the education part of the title is really important to me. And then living foods, and I didn't want to necessarily say raw foods or living foods. It's just they're alive, and it just gives that idea of vibrancy. So Pachavega Living Foods Education.
I love that. So what is living food? You just made a distinction there between raw and living foods. Can you tell me the difference?
Well, okay, an almond is a raw almond, right?
Okay.
But raw almonds actually contain enzyme inhibitors. They have the skin that's on them, that brown skin.
Right.
That's there to like protect them from going bad. It's there to protect their legacy. So when you soak an almond, you are initiating this sprouting process. So essentially what's happening is the enzyme inhibitors are released into the water as it's soaking, and then it's really important that you like rinse that water, drain that water to get rid of the enzyme inhibitors, and then you can consider that almond sprouted. And I would say that you're doing that for 24 hours, and maybe you're changing out the water 3-4 times or every 8 hours.
Right.
And then you've got something that was, almost like an anti-nutrient, like a raw almond. A lot of people eat raw almonds and they think these are healthy. Well, they're coated in an anti-nutrient that actually blocks, your body's ability to digest. So, so that's just a small distinction there. And things like sprouts, fermentation. So here's another distinction from the other side, miso. Well, miso technically, and I prefer chickpea miso, but you can get soybean miso. That's like the common Japanese, condiment soup-based miso. And then Korea has their own called doenjang, and that's like a similar type. It's stronger, it's fermented longer, and it's not raw, because they're cooked. The beans are cooked. So soybeans are cooked, the chickpeas are cooked, but it's living because it's fermented and there's active bacteria, and that bacteria is going to benefit your body. When you eat it, it's going to benefit your gut health, your gut bacteria, start to rebalance your microbiome. So that's what we call living foods.
Right.
Yeah, but saying that, I'm a human being. We're all human beings. We can't be perfect. The message that I share is it's not about what you do occasionally. It's about what you do consistently. So, go indulge in your French fries from time to time. Technically, French fries, being a potato, fine, but fried in oil that's been heated how many times? That's probably rancid. Probably carcinogenic, but it's better to know that. So then maybe you're not like eating French fries like 5 times a week, but maybe you're eating them once a month and you're still treating yourself. So it's not about like a lack. It's actually what happens is you end up eating so many more different foods and so much more, trying so many more flavors. And it's actually a really exciting journey.
Yeah, I love that. On that, actually, I've heard you talk about food combining. When most people think about food combining, especially when it relates to veganism, they think maybe the fact that some or a lot of plants don't have complete amino acid profiles or whatnot. But when you mention food combining, you're talking about something different. Is that right?
Yeah. So there's an idea or like a school of thought called food combining. Some people believe it and some people don't. For me, it makes sense scientifically, so I'll explain it as best I know. Essentially, food combining is when you're eating different foods in this, at the same time. Simple, right? It's pretty much how we all eat. We combine foods. That's the basic level. But the sciences, or the idea is that when you eat protein and starches, for example, at the same time, those different foods require like different enzymes to be broken down.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, the starch is going to be broken down much quicker, and the protein is going to take much longer to be broken down. And so in the interim, as the starch is like waiting for the protein to be broken down, so they can all like leave the stomach and go into the small intestine, what's going to happen is that starches start to ferment because it's waiting too long, and therefore gases are produced, aka bloating, etc. So but the caveat is that if you have a healthy digestive system and you're a healthy person, you can probably food combine anything and be fine. So really, food combining is for people who have weakened immune systems. Someone who's sick, you don't want to eat like a buffet, because the body is going to be like, oh my gosh, what do I digest first? Do I digest the grapes? Do I digest the, if we're talking about like the standard American diet, do I digest the steak? Do I digest the watermelon? Oh my goodness, no. Please eat watermelon. Don't eat watermelon with heavy starches or proteins, because the watermelon is going to start to ferment in the stomach and cause gas and bloating. You can combine. There's like a whole, list of like things you can combine, but basically the rules are don't combine proteins and starches in the same meal. So that might be the typical beans and rice. How do the Mexicans get around it? Well, less people know that if you eat Mexican food, you get a bit gassy. But so there you go. No.
Yeah.
But how do they get around it? Well, even like the Indians, dal, rice and dal khichdi, these things, they add digestive spices. So cumin, coriander, ginger, turmeric, these spices are cayenne pepper. They are pro-digestive spices. They help the digestion. They, enhance gastric juices. They calm nausea, all these kinds of things. So that's one way where you could eat, different kinds of foods at the same time.
You mentioned the Indians and the early South Americans, Central Americans, doing these preparation techniques to make sure that they get the most from their food and to stave off some of these issues that we have now, like bloating and indigestion and whatnot. And
Yeah.
I love that about a lot of the things that you teach. You teach us really holistic, back to the basics way of eating to restore your health and give you all the energy in the world. And a question I had for you was, you studied permaculture in Haiti, and I can't help but wonder if studying permaculture has helped or affected the way that you view how we grow and consume food today.
It was one of the most like intense experiences of my life.
Oh yeah?
Oh, so crazy. We went there. I was there for 3 months in the summertime in a tent, like tarantulas in tents, not my tent, thank goodness, but yeah, in my friend's tent. He had 3 in his tent. We were on bedrock. There was no soil. So we were there trying to help the locals rebuild their soil, because, there's been a lot of deforestation, like pretty much like 90%, don't quote me on that, but a huge amount of Haiti, like the country known as Haiti, is deforested, and that has contributed to different weather patterns, soil erosion, to the point where there's a lot of places that it's just bedrock. There's no soil.
Wow.
So people grow. So the government gifted a parcel of land to an organization, Sedana Forest, and they are there permanently. Their idea is that they're not an NGO. They're not just going to come in, save the day, and leave. They are staying there and they work with the people. So not only that, but they employ the people. It's like a community. It's a family. There's no, everyone's included.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
and it's all it's basically volunteer work. And you go there and you pay your small little fee for your food, which is like $5 a day or something like that.
Wow.
And yeah, that experience alone, I mean, I could go on. There's been several. And sometimes, actually, this is a good point. Sometimes when you experience so many crazy things, it's hard to like reflect upon them all equally and give them like proper time. So I don't think I've actually given Haiti like proper time, even though that was 2012.
That's fair.
Yeah, happened, and it was very trying. It was grueling. I got strep throat like so bad, and I've never really, I can't remember something so terrible before. I couldn't eat, I couldn't swallow water. I was severely dehydrated. Yeah, it was crazy. And then I broke or like fractured a few ribs.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like an overnight 8-hour boat ride spooning with like two other Haitians because the boat was, we were packed like sardines, and it was like rowboat style, but you know, imagine a rowboat style the size of a semi truck.
Wow.
And it's just so full, like we're on the top of the boat. There's no like, we're just like we're all like spooning and laying, and underneath it is just full of, you know, clothing and rice and supplies, and it's just the most, I've never experienced something before like that. And not only that, but how do you get on the boat? You want to know how you get on the boat?
I can't even imagine.
You hop on the shoulders of the Haitian man and he carries you to the boat. And
Wow.
then brings your luggage over after. Yeah.
That sounds like a heck of a trip.
Beautiful culture. I cannot like say how beautiful the Haitian people are. Like what resilient, incredible people. Like, wow, you know,
Yeah.
they're super amazing. Yeah, really, really spirited, resilient, and positive, you know, despite some of the hardships that they've had to endure as a country. So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like, yeah, it sounds like an amazing experience and incredibly humbling.
Oh, and it makes you just be like, okay, I pretty much never have to worry about anything ever again for the rest of my life, because I have, you know, I've just been blessed with this fortunate life that it's, you know,
Puts everything into perspective.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. You know, and you just add that to like 20 other experiences, and it just makes you grateful every single day, because it could be worse.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And on that note, you're an avid traveler. You've been to Haiti, as we now, and Korea, as you mentioned earlier. But you've been to, how many countries have you been now?
I think like 35.
That's incredible.
I tend to exaggerate as a, you know, the passionate side comes out and hundreds become thousands and thousands become millions. But probably 35.
Okay, well, that's an incredibly high number. I mean, most people haven't been to 2. Well, most North Americans haven't been to 2.
I may have counted all the like the short stops too, like Germany. I think I was in Germany for like 5 days or 4 days. I can't. Yeah.
When you're traveling as a vegan or as someone who's plant-based, how do you manage to travel to 35 countries and stay plant-based, stay vegan?
Oh yeah, that's always, you know, a very good question. Yeah, I don't waver, you know. I mean, I've been plant-based now for 12 years, and it's just not an option for me to not, you know, cheat or whatever. Like I just would never do that. So yeah, so I definitely have, you know, stuck through it for 12 years, and you know, I do travel with like some whole food supplements. So I really love doing this, and it's been great. I've never had a problem with food. I travel always with food. I'm about to actually head to Costa Rica, and I'm bringing like 50 pounds of food. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Very interesting at the airport.
I'm pretty jealous you're going to Costa Rica.
Yeah, I'm going to teach my raw food chef certification course there. I'm really excited.
That's incredible.
So there's one spot left, but I'm sure that it will sell out. And then we have another one in January, so that's really exciting too.
How often do you do them?
Twice a year, November and January.
Yeah.
And then That's in Costa Rica. And then I'll do one in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and then 2 in Canmore, Alberta. So Canmore's are June and September, and Cape Cod most likely October, but not solid on the dates for that one yet. So traveling, I always take my food, and what I end up doing is like creating this little kind of kit of whole food supplements. So one of my favorite mixes of all times is spirulina, dulse flakes, which is a seaweed. So spirulina is a saltwater algae, and then nutritional yeast. And then I add things like maca and medicinal mushroom powder and mix that up. And it's a superpower, immune booster, full on every vitamin, every mineral, hardcore awesomeness. Oh, plus moringa powder, which is I'm a huge fan of. Moringa has over 96 minerals. It's got 36 antioxidants, 46 anti-inflammatory compounds. It's called the miracle tree because it has the power to eradicate malnutrition. And actually, speaking of Haiti, when I was in Haiti, I had a moringa party. Not myself only, but at Savannah Forest, we decided to have a moringa party, invite all the people, and we talk about this amazing plant that is growing wild around them that they can harvest, how to sustainably, responsibly harvest, how to plant the seeds, how to use the seeds. They can, toast the seeds and grind them, make into a coffee. You can, eat the seeds raw and they taste like oh my gosh, it's the most insane experience. Like eating a bomb of sugar.
Oh.
With like it's like the most insane flavor. And then you drink plain water. For an hour after you eat a moringa seed, if you drink plain tap water, it tastes like pure sugar water.
Wow.
It is the most weirdest thing. It's like you have to experience this in your life.
Are these, can I get moringa seeds here?
I have a whole bunch. So I'm an ambassador for a company called Salome Naturals, and they're just a small company. It's just a family, husband and his wife and their children are just small little guys, and they have this incredible business where they're testing the moringa for contaminants, heavy metal particles, and they don't have to, because in Canada you don't have to test supplements. You don't have to test whole food supplements. So a lot of stuff on the market is like tainted, unfortunately, and maybe not even on purpose. But yeah, so they test this stuff, and it's really incredible. It's just the dried powder of the leaf of the moringa. But anytime I'm in the tropics, I seek it out. I have like Hawkeye moringa. Like, there it is. I see it. Run across. Yeah, amazing plant. It's so amazing. So anyway, this is the things I do when I travel, because it's not easy, but most countries have rice. Most countries have beans. At least I speak fluent Spanish, so I can ask them if, there's lard in the beans. Some countries there are. Believe it or not, this is the weirdest thing, but in Nicaragua, they put eggs in guacamole.
Seriously?
So, yep, they do. I don't know if in the but definitely in the northwest. So that was an interesting experience, accidental, obviously. Tastes really strange.
It's good to know.
Saying that I haven't wavered, I've definitely accidentally eaten. So
I think we've all accidentally.
Oh yeah, crying in South Korea because there was beef in the bibimbap, which is always vegan. Oh my God, I can't believe I ate beef. Crying.
Oh no. Yeah,
but you gotta just like let that stuff go. Let it go.
Exactly. It's about the intention too, right?
Absolutely.
It's all about your intention with what you're putting into your body and what you want to have as an impact around the world around you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's so deep. It's not just a food choice. It's my heart and soul, how I believe I should be in the world, how I respect the planet, how I care for the animals, how I care for my body, and it kind of just touches everything. It's in my opinion, the most responsible type of diet. And like I said, you can't be perfect, but the more plant-based meals you can make, the smaller footprint that you'll have. And I think that's the way to go. I live in an RV. I've lived in vans for years. I love the small space. I love I don't need much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not opposed to, lovely and wonderful things, of course, but, and if one day I had, lots of money and I could afford a nicer place, maybe I would move out of my van. But, it's about just being a little bit more humble and really kind of just using what you need. Like, for example, waste. Oh, it drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't handle waste. So like wasting things, like, or buying too many.
Mm-hmm.
You have 15 bottles of shampoo. It's like, stressful. Just want one, just need one.
Yeah, well, and there's more and more shops that you can go to. I can think of a few here where you can go refill your shampoo bottles, go refill your detergent bottles, rather than just throwing them away and getting new ones.
I love that so much.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, that's the way. That's the way. I was always thinking Starbucks should be the ones, the global trendsetter, say, no more cups. You got to bring your own cup.
Yeah.
And then they could sell cups there, to-go mugs. They could sell them. So, people desperate will buy their to-go mugs. But they could advertise for 6 months in advance. They would be all over the news. Everyone would know. And, maybe on their first, week or month of sales, they might lose some money. But that's okay, because in the end, there's a bigger picture and they're saving the planet. So that's my little pitch.
No kidding. Well, Kevin Johnson, the CEO of Starbucks, if you're listening, you heard it here first. You can throw Danielle a little bit of money for all those cup sales that you start making.
Saving the planet.
Yeah, I like it. Hey, off the back of that, you're mentioning supplements, and
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people that want to switch to a plant-based diet, or have toyed around with it, but a big worry is, maybe I won't get enough protein, or I won't get enough magnesium, or B12 or something like that. Do people have to supplement with protein powders? Do people have to supplement with things that they won't be getting from like an omnivorous diet?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I would say the answer is yes and no. So let's talk about the idea of vitamins. Okay, the whole reason that vitamins exist are to recorrect an imbalance. So when we're recorrecting an imbalance for a vitamin, we're kind of like, we're in an extreme state. So we're reaching for something a bit extreme, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a vitamin is like a synthesized, one isolated thing, instead of being a food. You didn't reach for the broccoli, you reached for the, vitamin C. So where are people coming from, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are they coming from in the first place? Like, if you're coming from a standard American diet, switching to a plant-based diet is going to be better for you. You're going to be healthier. You're going to get way more vitamins. You're going to get way more minerals. You're going to get way more fiber. People ask, where do you get your protein? They don't ask, where do you get your fiber? Animal products have zero fiber, right? If you don't have any fiber going through your system, you're not going to be able to eliminate the food that you eat very easily.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have sluggish digestion. You're going to have buildup. And then, you're going to have, hard impacted feces. Sorry to say, but that's what's going to happen when, you don't have fiber in your system. So fiber is, just as essential as protein is. And people always ask the question, where do you get your protein? And the answer is every single food you eat, because every single food you eat has amino acids. Amino acids are the base of protein, and those amino acids are all plants. They're plant-based. Where does the cow, where does the elephant, where does the gorilla, where does the ox get its protein? Grass.
Mm-hmm.
So it's synthesizing the amino acids into a complete protein. And then, so we technically, like I always say, skip the middleman. Why are you eating the cow when you can just eat the grass? Like, that's actually the most nutritious thing. Plus, when you're eating, animals higher up on the food chain, you're ingesting more toxins. You're ingesting, like, depending on where this, animal came from, you might be ingesting hormones, antibiotics, genetically modified organisms, because this particular cow, pig, chicken, etc., was eating, GMO corn for most of its life, which is not, they're not natural corn eaters at all. So they're not even eating the food they're designed to eat, which is grass. So a lot of people, they think, oh, should I be worried that I'm eating, switching to a plant-based diet, I'm going to be missing some things? The answer is, as long as you get a variety of fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, pseudograins, sprouts, fermented foods, you're going to be doing better than you were before, most likely, because there's a new awareness, and there's also, it's like a new time, it's an experience. However, if you just cut out the animal products, the dairy, etc., and don't start to eat more of a variety, then yes, you've essentially cut out a certain nutrient. So the idea is that, someone who's going plant-based, the first thing is going to be trying to enhance the variety. And then vitamins come into play only when there's an extreme imbalance. But I would personally never reach or suggest a synthetic vitamin. There are whole food vitamins and whole food, like plant proteins, for example, as you said. And then it depends too. What's your goal? Like, are you a crazy, like, ultra marathon triathlete? Or are you a sedentary, work in your office all day long and, run on the treadmill for 20 minutes in the morning? Like, so your body is going to need, different things and different amounts. So that also has to be taken into consideration. There's one thing that you may not get from a plant-based diet, or one or two. The sort of, B12 is it's a vitamin that's produced in the gut, produced by bacteria. It acts a little differently than some of the other B vitamins and other vitamins because it's produced in the gut. So, when your gut health is healthy, when you are feeding the probiotics, when you eat a lot of fermented foods, when you are eating a lot of prebiotics, which people don't talk about very often, that's essentially fiber. So when you hear the word prebiotic, that's fiber, which means prebiotics are the food for your probiotics. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Are the bacteria, prebiotics are the fiber. The bacteria eats the fiber, that's the food. So you need the fiber for your probiotics to actually work. And then when your gut health is good, you're able to, grow your own B12 essentially. But sometimes, the diet, people aren't super on it with the diet. It gets varied. Maybe they don't eat a lot of fermented foods. Maybe their gut health is weak from before. So B12 essentially, gets in the tissues of the animals. And so when people eat the animals, they're eating the B12. But for a plant-based person like myself, for example, they just checked my B12 and it was like 3,000%.
Yeah, I had the same thing.
Yeah. But in a bad way, like it wasn't like, oh no, it's over. No, it's like, dude, B12 is so good, you're good, And I would say that if you're eating a plant-based diet, if you're vegan, and you don't eat a massive variety of different vegetables, all these fruits and nuts and seeds and all these things, you should actually supplement with the B12. Look at the ingredients, what's in it. Is it an organically grown supplement? How is it simple? Is it synthesized? And then the reason that is because back in the day, there was a lot of B12 in the soil. right? As it was like getting created by the bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in the soil. So we're eating, maybe we aren't washing our hands so much, way back in the day. Maybe we're eating some soil accidentally because we're, brushing off our carrots instead of washing them, like with what am I trying to say? Chemicals to like clean them,
Mm-hmm.
like this whole vegetable wash thing. Like, oh gosh, maybe you wash vegetables because of potential E. coli through the handling of the vegetables, but it's not because of the soil. Well, actually, that's not true either, because you could have tainted soil. But essentially, when you were eating the bacteria back in the day, you were getting the B12 from the soil. So nowadays, our soils are not in the best shape. They're lacking in a lot of nutrients. They're lacking in B12, and so our diets now is lacking in B12. So as a vegan, looking into your B12 levels would be a really good idea, and you can do that through blood work, simple blood work, or through naturopath. I just got my blood work done, and so excited because every single thing was awesome.
That's awesome.
I've been plant-based now for 12 years. So, but I eat a huge variety. I also like Chinese herbs, and I like, eating medicinal mushrooms every day, like reishi and chaga and all those. And I like to eat fermented foods and make my own kimchi and cashew cheese and, astragalus and holy basil, tulsi, and things like that. So I'm basically interested in taking the best of the whole world and all the people and all the sages and all the, cultural diets that have said the foods are good. And the greatest news is they're all saying the same thing. They're saying, eat plants. Plants are the answer. In so many ways. Like no culture is like meat is the thing that makes you thrive, except for Western culture.
Yeah.
And it's relatively new. And
it's not working.
It's really not working. No. Yeah.
Something I love, and you just touched on it just now with the fermenting, making your own fermented food, making your own cashew cheese and whatnot. It's especially apparent in your TEDx talk is you empower people. I love that about you and everything that you brought to your posts and your media and whatnot, is you empower people to understand what food can do for their life, their health, but then you empower them to understand how to prepare it themselves and what simple methods go into making sure that you get the most vitamins and whatnot. And you're educating people and allowing them to make these changes, these small changes in their life that will affect every corner of their life.
Yeah.
And that message, I wanted to know, in a time when when maybe people are interested in looking into a vegan diet, but maybe are turned off by some of the media or some of the messages around it, more militant ones, what are some of the best ways you found to inspire people to consider adopting a vegan diet, or maybe helping their friends, family look into adopting a vegan diet?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Like I try not to pay attention to like fear mongering. So my method is more like positivity and like, look at all the amazing things you can eat. instead of, oh, all that stuff that you're eating is bad for you. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm running away now. I don't want to talk to you anymore. So yeah, empowerment. I mean, and I'm so excited about it. And I'm so passionate to share with people because it is easy. When you get the hang of it, it's easier than easy, and the excuse that is difficult, it's a horrible excuse, because the excuse is the self-limiting belief that, you aren't in control of your own health. And you are. And, we can talk about like epigenetics and like, my mother, my father, my grandfather, my grandmother had this certain potential condition, so I'm going to get it too. Yeah, you might have the genes that will, be activated to get this particular condition if you follow the same lifestyle choices, the same food habits, things as your parents, and etc. But you are not sentenced to that same condition. You have the power to control. And like I said, I'm not a doctor. And so what I'm saying now is not 100% of the time, all the time, but the science is out there. There are, okay, here's my exaggeration, millions of papers that tell you that eating more plants builds health. It builds health, it builds your brain, it builds your cells, it makes you feel awesome every day. And I know this because I feel this way. I feel amazing. I just turned 37 and people think I'm 25 and I have limitless energy. Obviously I do recharge and obviously I need my downtime too, but my ability to like have the energy that I do, it can only be from the food I eat. There's no other way. Like if I eat pizza every day, I'm not going to be like, yeah, doing handstands. And, I'm hanging out with a bunch of kids right now. And I've been helping them over the last couple of weeks, teaching them. And we're doing handstands and we're running and I'm racing with them. And, we're dancing and I'm with them from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then I go to bed in my little room. And then I wake up in the morning and I feed them. And I'm so blessed to have this opportunity to teach them. It's through the international school program at the Canadian Rockies Public School Board, where I am a substitute teacher. And that's my way to stay connected with my community. Because if I just do Patchavega, if I just do my own business, well, I'm kind of a solo girl. So doing it by myself, sometimes I miss like being part of the community. So being able to pick up jobs here and there, being able to volunteer. I love to volunteer at the community kitchen. Every Monday, this is the most amazing thing ever. Every Monday, there is a free dinner offered to the entire community. And they've been doing it for 30 years.
Wow.
And I've volunteered a handful of times and we feed over 350 people. It's 100% volunteer. It's like, this is so amazing. I get to make delicious, awesome vegan food for people. It's like my favorite thing.
That's so cool.
Did you try the salad? Did you try the salad? Did you like the dressing? That's my favorite dressing. And people come up for seconds. It's just like, this is a way to connect with people, to connect with human beings on the most simple, basic level. We all need to eat, and why not eat the things that taste good and build your health? So there, you mentioned like, yeah, everybody knows healthy eating, or actually some people don't, but we know we need to eat healthier. We know we're eating like crap. Okay. We know that. The missing piece is how do I take those carrots and celery and make them taste good? How do I take that plain old spinach and make it taste good? Yeah, I know I need to eat kale, but I don't like kale. Well, you can throw some kale with basil, walnuts, garlic, lemon juice, olive oil, salt in a food processor and make a pesto that will make you go, oh my God, this is amazing. Right? There's your kale. So there's a way, and literally what I just described, you could do that in 5 seconds, and that's the thing. Maybe you need some tools. Obviously tools help. So if you have a food processor, which can, be very, very affordable if you're getting it Canadian Tire, like $50.
Yeah, I've got the same one from Canadian Tire from like 5 years ago.
Exactly. It's like, okay, there's excuses of, oh, it's more expensive. But like I mentioned, what are you paying for? You're paying for your health for life. My food bill is my health insurance. I don't get sick. I am hanging out with 41 children over 2 weeks and I'm not sick. I'm fine. Yeah. I'm good. I feel awesome. Really. They're almost energizing in a funny way. Yeah. You just like let all the little problems that make you go, are you serious? Just roll off your back. It's awesome. I contribute that to getting a balanced diet of, a variety of minerals, vitamins.
Well, it's like Hippocrates said, right? Let food be thy medicine.
Yeah, medicine thy food.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So my mission in life is to, like you said, is to empower people, to show them how simple it is to make delicious food that will build their health. And obviously I'm never going to say I can cure your disease like that, no, because that's not my job. That's your body your body will cure the disease.
Mm-hmm.
How can we support the body so it can do its job, right? How can we, our immune system we have an immune system for a reason. Our immune system fights the stuff, fights the sickness, fights all that stuff. When our immune system is down, we get sick. How can we build the immune system? That's what we should be asking ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so it pains me sometimes when I see some, just, it's like we all need to be educated. And I am not saying that I know everything. And absolutely, actually, I don't. The best thing is, with a curious brain, I just keep learning more and more and more and more. And everything that I see supports, this way. It supports, like, yes, eat more plants, get connected with nature, be more respectful of the earth. And it changes everything. It changes your perspective on life. It changes how you feel. It changes everything. It gives you gratitude, So it allows you to see that, you're not, like, we're so much smaller, and the world and the universe and everything around us is so much bigger than we are. So I think that's, partially maybe the secret to life. I don't know. No, I don't know about that, but I'm still searching.
It checks all the boxes, though. Like you say, it promotes your optimal health. It gets you closer to nature and gives you a better understanding of your connection with food. It's the most sustainable approach to living, and it's the most compassionate. When you have billions of animals around the world that are unfortunately going through some of the most horrifying conditions you could possibly put something through, if you could play a role in ending that, why not?
Yeah, it's nightmare stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Billions a day, yeah, every day, billions. So it's like, there's a whole other topic of, because I'll have people like, oh, but I'm a hunter, I only eat the meat that I go and hunt myself. Maybe we would never have come to where we're coming, where we have to choose a plant-based diet and talk about it. Maybe that would never have even existed if we just all only hunted, right? Mm-hmm. All those billions of domesticated animals, those billions of animals that are in those slaughterhouses right now, those aren't hunters,
No.
The hunt, it's not, but then again, we can talk about the health behind too much animal protein as well.
Yeah.
So then again, okay, well, so say you're hunting and you're, hunting one animal for the entire year for your whole family.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. Like I said, would I even have to call myself a vegan? Would that even exist if everybody did that? Probably not.
Well, that's just it, right? It's a large question that has many different answers, but I find the easiest thing to do is look at what is the most rational thing to do. And it seems like the most rational thing to do is eat from a more sustainable, healthful diet that it facilitates a lot of other things too, like more, what's the word I'm looking for? Responsible agriculture use and these sorts of things. So, yeah, I mean, without going down that rabbit hole, because I know that you're so good at you're so good at promoting a positive message, and I actually want to bring that right back around right now, because I know that you're just about to take off to one of my favorite places in the whole world, Costa Rica, to teach a whole bunch of people exactly what you've just been speaking about, which is to live a more inspired life, live a more plant-based life, and connect with nature the way that you just described. What do those courses look like?
Oh, I'm so excited. So Pachavega Living Foods Education has branched off. And so my dear friend, Heather Hobbs, and I, we've co-founded Live Pure Culinary Institute. And so these are the courses that are held in Costa Rica. And we hold them at an incredible place called Vida Mountain Resort. We're dear friends with the owners. They treated me like a family member when I was hired last January to go in there and cater a group of 24 people for 14 days. And I was on for 14 days. And I catered breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 24 people. I had an amazing team. Thank goodness I spoke Spanish. So I had an incredible team. So these people work there. Oh, what amazing people. kind, friendly, happy, loving. We're laughing in the kitchen. We're having a good time. We're all exhausted at the end of the day, but we're still happy, and you
Yeah.
do it all again the next day. And, I've been teaching my courses in Canada now for 5 years, and it's time to bring it to a bigger population. It's time to shake it up a little. I like change. I think change is important for growth. And so, I have my courses here in Canada still as Pachavega, and my courses in Costa Rica are now together with Heather, and she is a certified yoga instructor and yoga teacher trainer. So she will guide the participants through yoga and meditation every day. And then we do the curriculum that I've created through Patchavega, and we learn how to become raw food chefs. So we do everything from sprouting to fermentation to knife skills to taste balancing, raw desserts. We talk a little bit about even traditional Chinese medicine and how they view the body. We learn how to do a gentle detoxification just by eating the food that we're eating during the course. We are gently detoxifying our bodies. And then that's for 1 week. At the end, we have this lovely homework assignment where the students present a global cuisine with a partner, and they have fun with that. So that's always amazing. And that's my favorite day, because then I get to watch. It's great. I get to watch and eat, and actually eat all the different food, because the recipes are all the same. So I've been eating these recipes 17 times. You probably time to change it's been 17 now, so we went 18th and 19th. And the advanced course, and the advanced course gets more into like gourmet aspects, so more like dehydrating and more raw desserts that are a little bit more complicated, and different techniques. And then we talk even about like whole foods for athletes, and for fertility, pregnancy, whole foods for kids for the senior years. We talk about like healing menus. So over the course of the 2 weeks, they're going to hear, certain foods that support certain systems, and how certain foods have been, known to, for example, like diminish the effects of arthritis because they're anti-inflammatory. So the students present at the end, they present a healing menu where, maybe it's a healing menu for arthritis. And of course, it's not going to be perfect, but the safety in this is we're just suggesting, hey man, like, eat some more food, eat some like delicious vegetables, so there's no doubt that it's going to be beneficial. Of course, contraindications come up. So, the students have to do the research. And then at the end, they become certified raw food chefs. And, even in the advanced module, we go and Heather and I, as entrepreneurs, we share our secrets. We're like, hey, like, you want to be like a raw food chef, you want to be an educator, well, here's what we can do. Here's the systems we use. Here's our accounting systems that we like to use. Here are, the websites that we use. Here's this and this and this. And by the end of it, they've got their business name, they've got their bare bones website up, and they're ready to tackle the world and, spread the love and the message of positive food and health. So it's super exciting. I have just like one spot left in the upcoming one, and maybe 4 or 5 in January, and then we do it again the following November and January.
That's
so
awesome.
Really, and I'm taking a lot of dried fruits, nuts, seeds, maple syrup. Even though maple syrup is not raw, and I don't overuse it, but it enhances.
Oh, it's delicious.
I think that's really, I think it's important to be said too, because, for example, cashews, like a lot of people think, oh, raw food, so many cashews. It's like, well, that's not the raw foods problem. That's you are overeating cashews.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to eat a ton of cashews, We're only supposed to eat like 5%, nuts and seeds kind of. So if you're eating more than 5%, then you're probably eating too many.
And you mentioned that this is no doubt great for people who want to become raw food chefs, but I've been in the fitness industry long enough to know that people see the most benefit not from going in and busting their butt in the gym 3 days, 4 days a week. That definitely helps. But the most benefit people see is by adopting a healthier diet and connecting with their food better. So whether you're looking to be a raw food chef or not, I think one of the most empowering things you could do is learn how to eat healthfully. And personally, I mean, I'd be going out of Costa Rica to check out one of these courses, but you hold them in Canada and the USA, and I can't think of a better way to take power back into your life. And
Come to Canmore.
yeah, definitely. I would love to. That's as we've been speaking, I'm like, man, I really need to do this course. I really need to do this course.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be so awesome. Yeah, it'd be
level
really
up
great.
my level up my game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this course really, you don't have to want to be a raw food chef. It's for everybody. I've had
Hmm.
all kinds of people. I've graduated over 110 as of now,
Wow.
and 6 men and way more women. So, all men out there, like, come
Yeah.
on, you
Yeah.
know, maybe it's the marketing. I'm still new at this whole business thing, so it's like maybe it's the marketing, but it's a life skills course.
Hmm.
I'm going to teach you how to make the best food ever that will support you for your life. It's not just about becoming a raw food chef. It's so much more than that. So I've had, mothers come. I've had people battling illnesses come and say, you know what, I want to take back my power, and I want to, heal these conditions of my body through food. I've had traditional Chinese medicine doctors. I've had nutritionists that come that know about the food but don't really know how to make the food taste good. I've
Hmm.
had I've had certified Red Seal chefs come that know how to do all the kitchen skills and make delicious food, but they don't know anything about the nutrition behind plant-based food. I've had athletes come. I've had ultra marathon athlete, take my course, and he's doing such a good job. I think he got second place in the recent race
Oh
in
wow.
Iceland. Just like, things are changing for people, and this stuff is all about empowering.
Mhm.
And if you want to empower yourself, and if you want to um, get healthy, the more you know, the better. The more
Mhm.
you know, the better. And I can show you a lot. I can't show you everything. I don't know everything in the world, but I can show you a lot. And, I can show you what I know, what's helped me, what's helped thousands, millions. And it's true, and all the news and everything that I read scientifically supports. It's not just hearsay. It's not just anecdotal. And even though, anecdotal evidence in the millions, in the thousands, it has some clout, has some weight. So yeah,
That's
it's
yeah.
gonna be great.
For the people that might not be able to make this upcoming trip to Costa Rica and want something to tie them over until the next course, you have a new ebook coming out. Is that right? And there's something special that's included in that ebook.
Yeah, I'm so excited about the ebook. It's all about the sauce.
I love that name.
Because it's true. It's true. It's all about the sauce. You can take raw broccoli, and if you have a delicious sauce and you pour that over, it's going to transform your broccoli, and you're going to love that broccoli. So it's all about the sauce. And the good news with it's all about the sauce is you can book a free consultation with me. So I think that's really important. You know, again, free consultation. I'd love to, chat with you for half an hour and, see where you're at, see where you want to go, give you some quick tips and tricks and inspirations in the short time, and I love talking to people, and I love seeing their minds transform from, I can't, I don't know how, I've tried everything, to, you know what? I can do that.
Mhm.
I can make a green smoothie in the morning. I can do, and
Yeah.
it's really inspiring because more positivity in the world makes me happy, and when people are happy, it's such a great existence.
No kidding. I couldn't have said it better. And the fact that they get to jump on a consultation with you and dive into a way to personalize the very book that they just got is an incredible value.
I have 5 cookbooks.
You have 5 cookbooks. So tell me,
Yeah.
how do you, because I can't even imagine writing one cookbook, let alone 5. So how do you get inspired? Where do you find the inspiration to make all these different cookbooks?
Oh man, well, the first 4 I made in Korea with my neighbor, Jessica Perlaza, a beautiful, amazing mother of two little boys. She is incredible. We teamed up and we created a series called The Kitchens of Pinch and Dash, and four cookbooks that followed the seasons. They're plant-based and gluten-free, and based in Korea. So there's there's persimmon and there's kimchi and there's, things that you would find, daikon radish in Korea,
Hmm.
more than you would in Canada, perhaps. But the idea is that it's this homegrown, soft, uh, beautiful images. Oh my goodness. Like Jessica, she took most of the photos and they're absolutely stunning. I learned so much from her for those four cookbooks. And then they were called Share Autumn, Hibernate Winter, Awake Spring, and Bounty Summer. So there are four little ones, 50 pages each, and together they were the four seasons. So that inspired me to write Heal and Ignite. And that is the 55 raw, whole food, plant-based recipes to heal your body and ignite your spirit. And that's my own little solo project, which was released in 2017. So you can find that on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Chapters, anywhere you can buy books. The best way, if you're Canadian, is to get it through Friesen Press, and that's through the publisher directly. So it's definitely the best way to go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. And as I mentioned at the very start of this podcast episode, you have a laundry list of things that you're incredibly talented at. And I mentioned musician, which is sort of similar to this, but you're also dabbling in being a TV personality. Can you tell me more about that?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I've created a television series. It's called Heal and Ignite Across Canada. And it's a plant-based culinary traveling adventure series that goes to every province across Canada, meets with different health experts, plant-based health experts, authors, athletes, people that are just, nutritionists, all kinds of people, Olympians. And we discover how this plant-based lifestyle can, well, I'm going to use the phrase again, heal the body and ignite the spirit, right? Ignite your spirit, get you excited to make this food, make you stoked again on life, on, taking control of your health through food. And, in the meantime, your body is going to do what it's naturally meant to do, which is heal itself. Ideally, of course.
Mhm.
And yeah, and so we filmed the first episode in May, and the trailer is getting edited right now, which I cannot wait to see. Oh my goodness. And so I met with Visanto Molina. So she is a world-renowned international author, speaker, author of many, many different books, over 750,000 copies sold.
Wow.
Really a pioneer in the plant-based, vegan, vegetarian field. She's over 70 years old, and she is spry and witty and sharp and, an amazing woman. I had Adam Hart, athlete, Mark Sky, ultra adventure racer, plant-based athlete, Julia Murray, Olympian, nutritionist, incredible person as well, who she also just released an ebook.
Oh, wow.
And then who else was on that? We had Aaron Ash, who was
Gorilla food.
Yeah, Gorilla Food. What a great guy. So Gorilla Food in Vancouver, amazing restaurant. So they had him on. I had Shauna Barker. She is a plant-based nutritionist, specializes in, pregnancy, and she's just an incredible human being as well. And, so there's just all these people that are coming together to support the message. So it's not just me saying, hey guys, everybody eat more plants, it's great for you. No, it's like, look at all these amazing people that are saying, yeah,
This is the way.
So yeah, so BC episode done. Now I'm looking for a production company. I'm looking for some funding because I funded the first episode myself, which completely drained the bank. So
Well, I feel like
that's what-
this project needs to get greenlit ASAP. So however we can help get that to go ahead, let's figure that out. We'll put that in the show notes for certain. As well as Patchavega.com, your website, where people can find out all about your raw food chef certifications, any events coming up, and Facebook.com/Pachavega Living, right?
Yep.
You have tons of great information on your Facebook page. Love it. And then if you want to see some beautiful raw food vegan photography, your Instagram page is fantastic. So it's at Pachavega. So how do you Pachavega is spelled Pachavega? Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I try to do like food photos, inspirational quotes, and like little snippets of my life. At one point I tried to like move my person away from the business, but then I lost interest. So I'm like, people like what I'm doing, living in a van, cooking in a parking lot, like pizza,
traveling to 30 countries.
Stands, yeah. So it's a mix. So yeah, it's a mix. My platform to share my message.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And live vicariously if they can't make this first Costa Rica trip.
Right. Well, in the new year, I'm releasing an online course.
Oh, there you go.
I said that out loud. Actually, I don't think I've only kind of told people like secretly, but no, it's going to happen. And maybe it's the new year, maybe it's mid-year. Let's hope it's not that. But yeah, I've been working since 2016. So.
Oh, incredible.
Yep. It's hard work and amazingness online. So yeah, if you can't come to Canmore or Cape Cod or Costa Rica, you can do it in the comfort of your own home.
That sounds pretty good. I definitely know a few people who will be taking you up on that.
Yeah.
We mentioned where we can find you on Instagram, your website, and Facebook. I would love to get any closing thoughts or any actionable steps that someone could take today to start getting some of these benefits in their life. Maybe they're not fully adopting a plant-based diet yet, but they're interested based on what you've said today. What is something that someone could start doing today to make these changes in their life?
Well, my first thought was like, what kinds of foods, here, like eat this, this, and this. Now, my first thing is get stoked because you can do it. Like, know and believe that you can do it. And it's fun and that the journey will be fun. There's nothing to be afraid of. And you're just going to be met with like awesomeness. Also, in that same little point, don't get, confused or scared by the fear-mongering, because there's a lot of that. Stick with the positive, inspiring, because I've even heard the phrase like it's even though I've never said this really, it's better to eat a hamburger and love every bite than to eat a salad and hate every bite. Mm-hmm. So it's about the way that you perceive the journey. I'm on the stupid vegan diet. Oh, that is not going to last long and you're not going to be happy. Mm-hmm. So definitely, get stoked, get excited, and trust that it's going to be awesome. That's number one. Number two would be, okay, I'm just going to say three things: mm-hmm. seaweed, sauerkraut, sprouts. Three things that you should eat every day. Now, when I say sauerkraut, I don't necessarily mean just sauerkraut. I mean fermented foods. Mm-hmm. Also, they don't need to be eaten in excess. So, you're not eating a jar of sauerkraut a day. You might be eating a tablespoon on your lunch and a tablespoon on your dinner. Maybe you're eating miso. Maybe you're eating some other type of fermented food or having a kombucha or something like that. So getting probiotics into the body, that's really, really important. Fiber obviously is important. So just getting a variety of vegetables. But one thing that many of the experts on the TV show actually said, because that was my question, like if you could give someone advice for transitioning, what would it be? The transition advice is green smoothie.
Green smoothie. And make it taste delicious. So if you happen to get your hands on the recent issue of Impact Magazine, the 2018 food and fitness issue for the fall, you will see a smoothie recipe in there that was so delicious. Oh, I actually think I'll have it tomorrow. It's power packed with all these greens. You can hide all kinds of delicious
greens and whole foods and, things that maybe are harder for you to eat, you can just throw those in there with bananas and, maybe a date, maybe some vanilla powder. That's an ultimate smoothie right there. And you're getting so many greens, and that's going to benefit your body so much. And then, as far as the seaweed and sprouts go, seaweed full of minerals. We don't eat enough of it at all in the Western diet. So there are many different kinds. So I recommend getting a variety. My favorite are dulse flakes. You can literally sprinkle them on anything you eat. That's savory.
They're delicious. My dad got some at a farmer's market, and they're incredible.
Yeah, it's like this. It's kind of reminiscent almost of like bacon, even though I don't want to really use that word, but you know what I mean? It's like smoky, it's salty, it's savory, it's soft, and so you sprinkle it on a salad, you sprinkle it on, your mashed potatoes, anything, and it's awesome. So that's actually something that's in my mix that I take with me when I travel. So I pretty much don't travel without seaweed. It must come with me. And then sprouts, I highly recommend, look up on my YouTube channel. I think I have a grow your own sprouts video, but I'll also have one, in the course that I teach, and also on the online course. But you can find that super easy. It's very, very simple to grow your own sprouts at home, your own microgreens. And also they're almost in every grocery store. The only thing is I don't really recommend alfalfa sprouts, just because of they've been linked to E. coli and things because of their they're like gnarled on the outsides of the seeds, and like bacteria can kind of get into those folds. So right. I recommend broccoli sprouts for sure, garlic or any like onion garlic sprouts. Yeah, those are my top two. And then, any other kind of microgreen like lentil sprouts or things like that. So yeah, those are my take homes. So start your morning with a green smoothie. Throw all the stuff that you should eat that you don't want to in that smoothie, but not too much, because you want to be able to drink it, and it has to taste good, right? Yeah. And then think about seaweed, sauerkraut, and sprouts, and you can do it.
I love it. I'm gonna have my green smoothie tomorrow morning.
One in the magazine is so good. It's got tahini in it, and it's just unreal. Yeah, that's what.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today, Danielle. I learned a ton. Check out your TEDx talk too. I thought that was incredible. And register for your class and learn how to live more vibrantly, sustainably, and closer to the earth. So I thank you very, very much, and I look forward to seeing you blow up in 2019.
Yay. Aw, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for taking your time out of your day today to listen to this episode of the Powerplantbody podcast. If you learned something from Danielle and got some value from this episode, I'd be grateful if you shared it with your friends and family who would also enjoy it. To learn more about Danielle and to grab one of her cookbooks and sign up for one of her amazing retreats, check out Pachavega.com. That's Pachavega.com. And follow Danielle on Instagram with her handle @Patchavega, @PACHAVEGA. And if you'd like to connect with me, you can head over to powerplantbody.com. That's POWERPLANTBODY.com, or follow me on Instagram @TheVeganTrainer. And remember to subscribe to the Powerplantbody podcast so that you know the moment when another interview with an inspiring teacher drops. And one of my favorite quotes is from Mark Twain. He said that the secret to success is just getting started. So that goal that you're working on, that vision of yourself that you want to bring into reality, it's time that you go out there and get started.